And welcome to the PhD podcast. It's your boy Teddy.
I'm your co-host Marcus.
And today we're going to be doing the 2023 NBA All-Star Weekend edition.
Yeah, let's get it. All right, so we're going to talk about some of our Eastern Conference All-Stars. So we're going to go with our point guard starting, which is Kyrie Irving.
The legend.
Donovan Mitchell for his fourth selection.
Spider.
Giannis Antetokounmpo,
MVP.
who got his seventh selection. Kevin Durant, which is his 13th All-Star selection.
Easy money sniper.
And Jason Tatum, who's also starting in his fourth All-Star game.
Deuce.
And the reserves for the Eastern Conference All-Star game, which is Jaylen Brown, which is his second. DeMar DeRozan, which is his sixth.
Debo.
Tyrese Halliburton as a first-time All-Star.
Shout out Wally on that one.
Drew Holiday, which is his second. Julius Randle, which is his second.
My nickname for Randall, sorry to cut you off, is Wreck Ball. Plays like a Wreck Ball center.
Bam Adebayo, which is his second.
Okay.
And Joel Embiid, which is his sixth, which is a controversial one because I still think he should have started, but
Durability.
yeah, there's just that in of itself. And we're going to go with the West, so you can end up doing the West.
Yeah, so the West, they got Steph Curry, and then the second guard was Luka Doncic. The center on the West is the current back-to-back MVP and Jokic.
Who I think is going to win three.
And the captain of the West, the elder statesman of the game, LeBron James. And the last forward on the West that's starting is Zion Williamson. And then on the bench for the West, they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Hamilton's finest Canadian, shout out. They also got Damian Lillard,
Dame Dollar,
John Morant, aka Josh Shiesty. And then they also got on the West, the forward, Paul George, PG-13. And there's also Jared Jackson on the Memphis Grizzlies. And Utah's got a representative in Lauri Markkanen. And the last All-Star in the West is Domantas Sabonis from Sacramento.
Yes. So now, every year, we always end up going through All-Star snubs. But the thing is, people always talk about their All-Star snubs, but then they don't talk about who do you take out. And that's always the conversion, like, that people never understand. It's like, well, I think this guy should have made it. It's like, but you still forget the fact that only 24 people make it, 12 per conference. So you still need to take somebody out. So with that clear part, who do you think got snubbed?
I'm cool with everybody that made it, that didn't make it. Honestly, I'm cool with it. I mean, with Tyrese Halliburton, he made Indiana a playoff contender, which they had no business being in the beginning of the year. Sabonis was always being an all-star when he was in the East in Indiana, and then he transcended Sacramento to finally making the playoffs. Last time Sacramento was even making the playoffs, people were still rocking Fat Farms and Don Vudge hats. Like, it's been that long. So, I mean, you gotta put him up there. Lauri Markkanen, he was like becoming a journeyman before he got to Utah. Now he's averaging 26 a game off a trade they unloaded for Donovan Mitchell. So you definitely got to put him up there.
So you feel that nobody got snubbed?
No, I can't see anyone getting snubbed. I mean, Cat didn't play enough games. James Harden's on the decline of his career.
Yeah, he's on the back nine.
And then when it comes to Jalen Brunson and De'Aaron Fox, I mean, the guys on their team that you can call the leaders or doing a little more got the spot over them. So I can't be mad at the list. However, though, with Steph Curry being out potentially for the All-Star game, if there is a spot that opens, I would have to give it to between De'Aaron Fox or Jalen Brunson. It would have to be between one of the two.
Well, it'd probably be Fox because they have to do the East-West thing. So, and Curry plays in the West.
Okay.
So it'd probably be replaced with De'Aaron Fox. I agree with that.
Yeah, for me, it's between those two. Like,
and that's the part that people always end up having, like, the whole controversy. It's like, you still have to remember, just because the team's named, there's always someone who pulls out. Because Zion's not playing as well.
Yeah, KD's injured as well.
So, we'll see who ends up going. Like, they'll probably just put AD.
But AD didn't play enough games. I feel like he missed so much games. It's like, bro, you weren't even there. Your team record speaks for itself.
But you know, sometimes there's politics in the NBA in and of itself. So, you gotta look at it from that perspective as well.
Of course.
So, yeah. Like,
they almost had Caruso in the game the other year. Just off fan voting
Lakers
alone.
fans, man, yo, they come out in droves. Even those fake Warrior fans. Remember that one year when Zaza almost started the All-Star game?
Yeah,
and the league had to shut it down?
Yeah, that was crazy.
They're like,
Zaza.
no. It's like, no, you guys are doing too much. Can't be doing this. Like, that's too far.
See, I feel like if they were doing that, they should have did, like, the fans should have just went all in. Like in hockey, they got that Scott guy for that 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know his name, but something Scott. He had, like, more goals in the All-Star game than his whole season.
Didn't he win MVP, too?
He did. That was the craziest part. He had, like, 4 goals in the All-Star game. He got the MVP, and then in the season, he only had, like, 3 goals that got sent to, like, the AHL.
Man, hockey just be different like that sometimes. Like, yo, I don't know. But, like, we're going to end up talking about another trade that happened in the NBA this past weekend, which is the Kyrie Irving trade.
The legend Kyrie. The saga continues.
P. Diddy album. Not bad at track, too.
I mean, I think it's a low move for Dallas. Just a rental. I don't know where. If you could predict what Kyrie is doing
in his mind.
No, I mean just in general. If you could predict like the movements he's gonna make or like that sort of thing, like yo, you got a good chance to win the lottery. For real. I mean,
he's kind of aloof at times.
Like,
so, you know.
I don't even feel comfortable betting on his player props sometimes because like the way he fluctuates. But he was hooping though before he got traded. Like he was like averaging like 30 and some change in like a 7-game stretch when KD got hurt. He was like carrying them.
That's why like when I seen that report come out on the weekend, I'm like, but I thought they were doing so well. I thought things were fine in Brooklyn.
Yeah, so this is what I want to ask you. If back in the day it was like East-West, right? And if you got traded from the East, you would go to the West team instead. But now because they're doing captaincies, it works out. So luckily they changed the All-Star format because that would have been a little tricky.
Because we briefly spoke to that off camera about like how would that end up working, but I still think it would have been like, but you were selected in the Eastern Conference when it happened, so you still playing in the Eastern Conference.
Or if someone gets injured and pulls out, you would just rotate that player over there.
Oh yeah, and swap it out.
And then find another reserve on the East side.
Oh, to balance it out.
Exactly.
I think that could have happened as well. But it's like, what player has really been traded as an all-star before the all-star game in the middle of the season?
I would say the only thing I could think of on top of my head is the DeMarcus Cousins situation when we're from Sacramento to New Orleans, but the trade happened during the game of the all-star game.
And he didn't find out until the game was over.
Yeah, nobody knew till the game was over. Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm staying in New Orleans because it was in New Orleans at the time.
That year.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what do I do? Do I pack?
And since the All-Star Game MVP now is named after the great late Kobe Bryant, do you have any memories of the All-Star Game? Like any great moments from the All-Star Game?
Well, my special memory was in 2016 when I actually was fortunate enough of going to the All-Star Game. That was just a special moment in of itself for myself, because we never knew that was going to be Kobe's last trip to Toronto in of itself. That was his last All-Star game, and he never came back again. We just didn't know that in the moment. And the dunk contest was amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, that All-Star weekend was great, even though it was like super cold in the city at the time. I mean, we had one of the greatest dunk-offs with Levine and Aaron Gordon going back at it again. Like it was like quadruple sudden death.
That was special. Like
For me,
I got some footage, so y'all
From-
can watch that in here.
yeah, for me the greatest moment for me was, I think it was like 2013 or 2014 when LeBron and Kobe went at it the last minute of the game or last 2 minutes of the game when Kobe locked them up for
Oh,
four
when he blocked
possessions
him.
when he
Yeah.
when he stripped them twice, blocked them the other time, and then the ref called foul on the last one when we all knew it wasn't a foul. Because there was no way the Lakers were making the playoffs. Well, they did make the playoffs because he tore his Achilles. But long story short, he knew he wasn't gonna get that matchup where he could run into LeBron in the finals. So he clapped up, locked him down, and showed the world like I can hold him.
One of my greatest moments from like not being biased was the 01 All-Star game in Washington back in the day when they had that low camera view.
Okay. Yeah.
When
that
they
was when
came back from like
that was when
21?
the East came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like Stephon Marbury.
Yeah.
When he fooled Vladdy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
game.
that one. I remember. Yeah, and then
Like, that was special.
yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah, I
Like,
remember that.
They had some of those moments. It's like one of those 3-point shootouts.
And before we wrap this up, I just gotta ask: if you had to choose any people to participate in the dunk contest, who you taking?
Currently,
Yes.
Well, I want to see Ja. I want to see Zion, but Zion hurt all the time, like every other year. But that's a different discussion. Then I'd still, you gotta put Levine and Gordon back into it.
Nah, they've been there, done that.
I don't care. I'm just biased. It is what it is.
So for me, it's John Morant leading. I get Anthony Simons back in there because he won it last time.
Don't care.
I would get Zion
That
in
dunk
there.
contest was terrible last year. Oh,
I always
my
wanted
goodness.
LeBron to do it because he said he was going to do it, and then he never did it.
Quitter.
So if we can't get him, just get like the youngest kid on the block to go do it.
Or just get a random G leaguer who's gonna
No,
just
I
show
mean
out.
like a Obi Toppin, someone like in that lane.
Cause didn't they get one of those like YouTubers or whatever it was doing the dunk contest this year?
They're doing that?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Even though the one person who I think that would beat anybody in the NBA is Jordan Kilgannon. Cause shout out Canada, like he's special.
Like if they could get, I don't know, like I'm
Or
just
Guy
saying,
Dupuis, he nice too.
like if Miles Bridges was in the league, I would want him to be in the dunk off. But he's unfortunately not signed. But
yeah.
no, I'm
due
just
to
saying in
some
general, I would
off-the-court
want
issues.
someone like that type of caliber player to be in the dunk off. But yeah, John Morant, please, man, just do it already. Like we all want you in there, man. Just do it. Even bring Jakob Poeltl as a prop again. Like it don't matter. We just want to see you in it. Like, come on, John. Just do it for the people. One time.
The man's closing out. He's just doing his job, man. Like, leave Jakob Poeltl alone.
Nah, like, come on, John.
See-
we just want John Morant in there.
Just even with that,
Could you imagine if Vince Carter never did the dunk off? The world would not be the same.
no, that was a special dunk contest.
Please,
too.
John. Like, just do it. Just
Come on, Ja, do it up.
yeah.
All right, so that concludes our All-Star Weekend podcast. Thank you for tuning in. You can see us on all platforms.
Apple, YouTube, Spotify. And yeah, check us out on Instagram also at Player Hating Degree Podcast. Peace. Love.
Peace.